A credit score below 700 is a financial cage that keeps you from the American dream, locking you out of the best homes, the lowest interest rates, and the life you actually deserve. Right now, there are millions of hardworking Americans stuck in a loop of high-interest debt and credit rejection simply because they don't understand the hidden levers of the FICO system. You might feel like the deck is stacked against you, but the truth is that building credit isn't about how much money you make. It's about how well you play the game. Think about 50 Cent. Back in 2015, the man who dominated the charts had to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy with over $30 million in debt. He didn't just disappear, he leveraged the system, rebuilt his empire, and proved that a financial setback is just a setup for a comeback. If a mogul can navigate a total collapse and return to the top, you can absolutely move the needle on your score in the next 90 days. The first thing you need to realize is that your credit score is a story told in data, and 35% of that story is just showing up on time. In the US financial system, a single 30-day late payment can tank a 700-plus score by nearly 100 points instantly. This is why you must treat your due dates like a high-stakes contract. One of the fastest ways to inject life into a thin credit file is a strategy called the authorized user hack. Imagine having a family member or a very close friend who has a credit card with a perfect 10-year history and a massive limit. When they add you as an authorized user, that entire decade of perfect behavior is basically copy-pasted onto your credit report. You don't even need to touch the physical card to reap the benefits. It's like being a passenger in a car driven by a professional racer. You get to the finish line just as fast without having to steer. This is a core principle we advocate for at MoneyFacts USA because it's a legal, ethical way to bypass the years of waiting usually required for a seasoned score. If you don't have someone to piggyback off of, don't panic, because the financial industry has created specific tools for exactly where you are. You've likely heard of secured credit cards, but most people use them incorrectly. You put down a deposit, say $200, and that becomes your limit. The mistake people make is treating it like a debit card and maxing it out. To build credit fast, you need to keep your utilization under 10%. If your limit is $200, don't let a balance of more than $20 hit your statement. Think about Nicolas Cage. At one point, he owned 15 homes, a private island, and a literal dinosaur skull. But his spending habits led to a massive IRS lien and forced him into a relentless work schedule to pay it off. The lesson for you isn't about dinosaur skulls. It's about the ratio of what you have versus what you use. Lenders want to see that you have access to credit, but are disciplined enough not to touch it. Another powerful move is the credit builder loan. Unlike a traditional loan where you get the cash up front, these banks hold the money in a locked account while you make small monthly payments. Once you've paid it off, they release the funds to you, but more importantly, they've reported 12 months of on-time installments to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. This adds credit mix to your profile, which is worth 10% of your score. Lenders in the US want to see that you can handle different types of debt, not just plastic. At MoneyFacts USA, we've seen viewers jump 50 points just by adding an installment element to their revolving credit history. It's about showing the algorithms that you're a multidimensional borrower who can handle the responsibility of a structured payment plan. While you're building, you also have to be on the offensive against errors. Statistics show that roughly 1 in 4 credit reports in America contains a serious error that could be dragging your score down. This could be an old debt that should have fallen off after 7 years, or worse, a mixed file where someone else's bad habits are being attributed to you. You have a legal right under the Fair Credit Reporting Act to dispute any information that is inaccurate, incomplete, or unverifiable. Don't just accept a low score as your reality. Go to the official channels, pull your reports, and audit them like a forensic accountant. Even A-list celebrities like Toni Braxton have had to navigate the complexities of bankruptcy and public debt filings. She filed twice, but she stayed in the game, managed her image, and rebuilt her career and her finances. If she can do it under the microscope of the American media, you can do it from your living room. Finally, you need to look at the new data sets available in 2026. Services like Experian Boost now allow you to get credit for things you're already paying for, like your Netflix subscription, your cell phone bill, and even your rent. For decades, these payments were invisible to the credit bureaus unless you messed up. Now, you can opt in to let them see your positive utility history. It's a game changer for anyone with a thin file. We talk about these modern shifts constantly at Money Facts USA because the old rules are being rewritten in your favor. You have more tools at your disposal today than your parents ever did. It's time to stop being a victim of your financial past and start being the architect of your future. If you follow these steps, getting on as an authorized user, keeping your utilization low, and using tools like rent reporting, you aren't just building a score, you're building freedom.